V'ish ki yochel kodesh b'shgaga. If a person eats kodesh b'shgaga, he's eating truma. V'yosef chamishisu alav. He should add, besides the principle that he ate, he adds a fifth, which is really a quarter. V'nasan l'koyin es hakodesh, and he gives to the koyin es hakodesh. This is speaking about, guys, someone eats truma b'shogeg, and he pays the keren v'chomesh, but he doesn't pay cash. He pays fruit. He pays fruit of chulin. V'nasan l'koyin. Look at the last words of the pasuk of Yadalid. V'nasan l'koyin es hakodesh. He gives to the koyin chulin, and that chulin promptly becomes truma. So you pay back truma with fruit. You don't pay it back with cash. That's only if you do it b'shogeg. If you do it b'mezid, you chayiv misa b'dei shemayim, and you would pay like a gazlan. You would not pay a chaimish, and you would not pay back fruit. You would pay back money. Guys, you hear the distinction. You nicked in b'shogeg by truma. You're going to add an additional surcharge of a quarter, and in addition, you're not paying cash. You're paying with payros. Those payros automatically become truma, like you ate. Conversely, by if you eat truma b'mezid, you chayiv misa b'dei shemayim, and you do not pay a chomesh. You would pay whatever like a masik, whatever you gaslam, whatever you steal. Says our Mishnah. We're up to Lamed Aleph on the base. I think we did let you fold my pilus on it. We didn't do that. Which Mishnah? The one before?
I Mishnah of my pilus.
The one before, my pilus, we didn't do yet.
We didn't do my pilus?
No.
Well, I prepared this. I started from here, so forget it. You'll do the rest yourselves, okay? No, I'm just kidding. Okay. After that good akdama, now we're gonna do something nothing to do with anything. Okay. Anyway, says the Mishnah, chametz shenaflav mapilis, a chametz that fell on top of it, a wall fell down, any type of churva, anytime you have a covering of different debris that is covering chametz, hayukim mavur, it's considered mavur. You don't have to go ahead, clear it away and get it. Rabbi Shimon Gamliel says it depends. He says, when a kelev can't get it, then there's no din of removal. When a kelev can't get it, then there's no din of removal. Conversely, if a kelev can get to it, you would be mechuyev to go ahead and remove it. Amrav Kista, what is the parameters? It's sarchi avata belibo. You have to go ahead and be mevatel. Rashi says, shaloi yipakeach hagal b'moyed. You're not going to be in the gal in the moyed. Over a love. So you have to go ahead, Shema, maybe, in other words, as an insurance policy, go ahead and be mavatlit, just in case you clean the debris and you find it there, you should not be over by Yeroah. So therefore you go ahead and you mavatl it. So despite the fact you can't get to it, you mavatl it. Now, Tana Kamachi Pushakela, what is considered that a door can get to? Shleisha Tfachim, a depth of 3 Tfachim. Any debris that's below 3 Tfachim, you are not required to go ahead. Any chametz that's below debris of 3 Tfachim, you will not be required to go ahead and remove it. Someone gives you cash to watch. The way to watch it is to bury it. Question, is the burial 3 Tfachim or less? Me being shleish Tfachim like what? Like chametz? I lie or not? So Amalei. So Amalei, so he told him, Rav Ashi told Rav Acha Rav Yosef, Hachem Mishum Reicha, being a shleish tefachim. Over here, because the kelev can smell, in order to be out of his jurisdiction that he can't get to it, it's 3 tefachim. But Hasam Mishum Chsuye Me'enaihu. The purpose of burying it is that what? You should not be able to see it. So just like you don't need 3 tefachim to not see something. The Kama, Amaraf from Bapapa, Misichra from the town of Sichra, a tefach would go ahead and do the job. A tefach would go ahead and do the job. So therefore, Shmira, it's a tefach, and in order not to go ahead and require to clear out the debris, would be 3 tefach. Okay. One more time. So if you eat b'shogeg, you add a chomesh, and you go ahead and you pay back payros. You're going to pay back peros. Those peros are chulin, they would automatically become truma. Conversely, b'mezid, guys, b'mezid, you misa b'dei shemayim, and you do not pay a chomesh. Okay, that's today's daf. That's the crucial nakuda. Says the Mishnah, ha'oichel trumas chametz v'pesach. You're eating trumas chametz v'pesach. B'shoigeg, if you do b'shoigeg, mishalin keren v'chomesh, you're going to go ahead and pay a cherish b'chomesh. And b'mezid potter mitashlumim udemei eitzim. And b'mezid you be potter from paying and from the worth of eitzim. What's the svara, guys? You're eating trumas chametz v'pesach b'shoigeg. You're paying a keren v'chomesh. Isn't truma asa b'hana? It's not asa b'hana, right? Does trumas chametz have value on Pesach? Apparently not. So why in the world are you paying a keren v'chomesh? Guys, listen. I'll repeat the words in the Mishnah. Ha'oichel trumas chametz v'pesach. This is non-chametz. It wasn't chametz before Pesach. It became fermented on Pesach, and you go ahead and you eat it b'shogeg. You eat the chametz b'shogeg. Well, it could be you're a mason on the chametz, and it could be your shogeg on the truma. Mishalin keren v'chomesh b'mezid. Says Rashi, shogeg b'truma. You were shogeg in the truma. V'afila hizid b'chametz. Even if you're a mason in the chametz, mishalin keren v'chomesh. Why don't you say come later the Rabbi name you pata d'shlumin? We'll see Be'ez Hashem Rashi and the Omen Aleph. Even though it's not worth anything, fellas. The chametz of Pesach asa b'hana. Miyu shogeg the truma. D'chsiv bei v'chimishi so yosef alav. The nasan lakoines hakodesh. Davar royli is kodesh. You mechuyev to pay something that's kodesh. She'ena yochel l'shalom le'amois. You can't pay him cash. You can't pay cash if you did it b'shogeg. Ela haperos, only fruit. V'hatashlumim naset truma. That the truma and automatically the payment of the fruit becomes truma. Kidul kamon, as we'll see later on. So lav lefi damim mishalim. You don't pay according to its value. El lefi mida, but according to its amount. Hilkach lav basa damim mazlina. You don't go after damim.
This is
You're eating a bushel. You're eating a bushel of apples. Of wheat. A bushel of wheat could sell for $50, right? So you'd say, well, $50 and another $12.50. I'll pay what? I have to pay what? $62.50. $50 for the what? For the 60 and a quarter of 50, right? A quarter of 50, $12.50. Good. So you pay 50 plus the chaim is $62.50. You'll ask me, why am I paying $50? Because after all, it's not worth $50. It's not. It's not worth $50 because it's chametz. Chametz has no value. The answer is, when it comes to payment, you're not paying for value. You're paying for peiros. You ate a bushel of peiros. You have, in this case, wheat. You pay back a bushel of wheat, and accordingly, as we'll see how it works out. So, since the payment for shogeg is peiros, even though the peiros is asa b'hana because it's Pesach, we don't look at damim. Asa b'hana means it's valueless. But again, when you're paying for the etzim fruit itself, right? Then you don't look at you don't view it as what is asa, and therefore that you pay. Conversely, b'mezid, guys, when mezid you're going to pay cash, right? Then you pata. Look at the last end of the Mishnah, right? B'mezid pata miteshlumim. By mezid you be pata miteshlumim. Because mezid, you're not paying fruit, you're paying the value of the fruit. And chametz on Pesach has no value. Difference between shogeg and mezid. Very, very interesting difference.
Rabbi Stone, 1 second. I'm sorry. If it's not valued, then how come Meissen is a halacha of shava pruta, right? With the truma, right? You don't pay the chaimish if it's less than shava pruta, right?
It's the machlokes in the Gemara, whether it's shava pruta or kazayas.
Okay, so according to the one that says it's shava pruta, but that's damim. So why is it? So, but now you have less than shava pruta because the chametz is not worth anything.
Again, it's not true what you're saying. If you go after not after the most, if you go after the fruit itself, then you even though it has value, meaning it's We don't look at the value. We look at the fruit itself. Once you look at the fruit itself, it's irrelevant. Again, if it's less than a kazayas, less than a shava pruta, we'll see it on the Yomi base. We'll see the shaila. But if you go after the fruit, you're not looking at the value of the fruit. You're looking at the fruit. You're not looking at the value is money. You don't look at the money of the fruit. You're looking at a fruit. You're paying back fruit. You're paying back fruit. You only look at fruit. Don't consider the value at all, Yankel. Forget the dollar sign. Look at bushel. Look at bushel. Don't look at price. Shava pruta already. You're looking at a dollar sign or a cent sign, right? You're looking at the value.
So the shogeg doesn't cost you more than the mazid because you're adding a fifth. It's no way to.
The shogeg costs more than the mazid.
It's right. Is that that's kind of strange, isn't it? It costs you more.
It's not only strange, but also the way you pay back is strange. We have a Gemara in Baba Kama. Yoshiv l'Rabbi Shava Kesef Afilu Subin. In other words, if you go ahead and do you remember when Yudi got paid back like the $10,000 in food stamps? Yudi, you guy in that share, Yudi used to be in the share. He did a job for somebody, and someone gave him like a crazy amount of money in food stamps. And he was embarrassed to use it. I mean, that's why it had to go. So usually when you pay back, you can pay back anything. But over here, you have to pay back fruit. That's one interesting halacha. In addition, you're getting a kapara, Harold. Karen v'chomish. The chomish is a kapara for something you did b'shogeg. Conversely, if you did it b'mezid, right, you don't get a kapara. You did it on purpose. So why should you give a kapara? So you don't need the fifth.
It's similar to a carbon chatas, like sort of.
But you're not getting a misa b'shemayim. That's the difference. Says the Mishnah. Says the Gemara. Tanan Hasan. Ha'eichel truma b'shoigeg mishalin keren v'chomish. If someone eats truma b'shoigeg, guys, not chametz, regular truma, you pay keren v'chomish. Echad ha'eichel, whether he eats it, ve'echad ha'shoisa, whether he drinks it, ve'echad ha'soch, or whether he smears it on himself. The Gemara in Yuma says that sicha is kishtia, is like drinking. Echad truma tameya, whether the truma was tamei and you have to burn it, the echad truma tahira mishalim chaimish, and the chumsha, you're going to pay a chaimish on a chaimish. Since the tashlumim is fruit, if you would eat that fruit, you pay a chaimish on that chaimish. Right? Again, you're paying the keren X amount of fruit plus an additional fifth. What happens if you would eat that additional fifth? You have to pay a fifth on that. A chumsha de chaimish. You're going to pay an additional fifth on that. Iboilahu, kishahu mishalim. When he goes ahead and pays. Lefi mida mishalim. Do you go according to the fruit, or lefi dama mishalim, or according to the value? Right? Says Rashi. Iboilahu. Kiven the gabe truma b'shoigeg kapid rachmana tashlumei peiros v'loy ma'os. Since b'shoigeg the Torah is makbid to pay what on with fruit and not money. Kidichsiv v'nasan lakayin es hakodesh, like we saw in the Hakdama. Lefi midam mishalim or lefi damim mishalim, right? Big gazlan the chulin shoigeg amazed v'chein gazlan the truma amazed lo yiboylon. Kimin like kapid rachmana tashlumin did who the ama yashiv l'rabbis afilu shava kesef afilu slumin vaday damim mishalim. You're always going to go after value. Always. Whether if you steal it, truma, chulin, you steal it. We're not speaking about unique din by eating b'shogeg. Since it's fruit, what's the din? Aval b'truma shogeg yiboylon hoil v'kpid the Torah l'shalim peiris. Do you go after what it's worth or the fruit itself? Says back in the Gemara, kol heicha demei kara shava arba zuzah, where the bushel was worth 4 zuz. And it went down in price, and now it's only 1 when you come to pay. Loiti boilaf, there's no shaila. You're going to go ahead and pay according to the value at the time of the gazela. Because eating b'shogeg is no worth in gazela. Right? The Gemara in Baba Kama, all gazlanim pay at the time of gazela. So that's not the shaila. The shaila, whether you go lefi damim or lefi ma'os, is or Paris Kiti Boilach, the Meikara Shav is Zuzah, the bushel was worth a zuz, Ulibasov Shav Arba, and now it went up in price. So, my Lefi Mida Mishalim, do you go after the Mida? So if you stole a bushel, if you ate a bushel, you're gonna pay back a bushel. I ate a bushel's worth 4 times as much. I don't care. Because I go Lefi Mida. You ate a bushel, you're paying back a bushel. Because by Shogeg, you pay Paris. The Amalei, Griva Achel, you ate a Griva, that's a measurement, and Griva Mishalim. Dilma, no, Lefi Damim Mishalim, right? Bezuza Achel, you ate a Zuz, and Bezuza Mishalim. So he eats a bushel that what is worth $1. He comes to pay that same bushel is worth $4. Do you say you pay $1 or do you say you pay 4? That's the shaila. So I'm Rabbi Yosef Tashmat, Achel Groigris, if you eat dried figs, the Shilein Lei Tamarim, and you pay back Tamarim, you pay back dates. Dates are much more choshev than figs. Tavale bracha, get a big bracha. Get a bracha. You're a fine fellow. You get a bracha. Get a bracha. Bishleim, you're telling me you're going to pay lefi mida. Amtula hachi tavale bracha. You could have got off by paying Gregris, and now you're paying what? Better. So therefore, you're getting a bracha. That's lefi mida. The achel griva de Gregris, the shavi zuzah. He ate a barrel, a griva of zuz, and he's paying back a worth of zuz. V'koyav griva de tamarim the shava arba. The havamina is he's paying back a barrel of tamarim versus a barrel of dried figs. Barrel of tamarim is worth more, so tavila bracha. Aliyam lefi damim mishalim. If you're paying, I stole $50 of dried figs. I'm paying back $50 of dates. Amai tavle bracha, bezuza achol, bezuza kamishalim. Guys, like what? In other words, if you pay back payers that are worth more, it understands why you get a bracha. But if you're paying back value, so where's your bracha? The guy eats dried figs, truma. He pays back payers and dates. Tavle bracha. If it's the same value, it's $100, $50, where's the bracha? It's the same thing. So must be what's he doing? We're going lefi mida. You're going according to the measurement. If he ate a barrel of this, he's paid back a barrel of that. A barrel of that is worth more. So now we can place the shaila. You go lefi mida, not lefi the value. Rabbi, no, lo lefi damim mishalim. V'may tavi le bracha. The achel mida le kapetz lezvina v'kom mishalim mida the kapetz lezvina. Guys, you have $100 worth of pomegranates, really beautiful red pomegranates, beautiful, beautiful, and you have $100 worth of dried figs. You know what dried figs look like, right? These things, remember? You open them up. It looks like a little bunch of aliens inside. A dried fig, right? Would you at? How's this for visual aids, guys? My wife got from the Syrians. They sent a platter from the orchard, beautiful stuff, but they had a bunch of this in it, and that's that. Okay, that's that. Anyway, I'd much rather have a pomegranate, right? The value is the same. We don't care. You can value is value, but there's certain things that people will buy that people won't buy. There you go. So you have no raya. Tanan. Ha'oichel trumas chametz Pesach. Now, this is our Mishnah, but the Gemara, as often, the Paisa elaborates. Tanan. Ha'oichel trumas chametz Pesach b'shoigeg. Ye'ei trumas Pesach b'shoigeg mishalim kerem v'chomish. Now, you should all tell me, Rabbi Stern, this is a raya, you go lefi mida, because if you go lefi mois, it has no value, right? Our Mishnah, lechora, is a proof that you go after mida, because you're going after the fruit. Because if you go after the value, it has no value. It makes sense why you chayav a kerem v'chomish, because you ate fruit. Chametz v'Pesach bar damim who? Chametz v'Pesach is what? Has bar damim? Says Mu'in. Hamani Rabbi Yossi Glili. Guys, we met Rabbi Yossi Glili, right? Rabbi Yossi Glili. 3 shitas, guys. Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Shimon, Rabbi Yossi Glili. Let's go. Rabbi Yehuda, before Pesach, lav. During Pesach, lav. After Pesach, lav. Rabbi Shimon, before Pesach, mutter. After Pesach, mutter. During Pesach, karis. Rabbi Yossi Glili. Even during Pesach, it's asr ba'achila, but it's mutter b'hana. So very good. Our Mishnah could be speaking, you're going lefi damim, according to the value. I'll say it's Pesach, what kind of value does it have? Our Mishnah could be going according to Rabbi Yossi Glili, who holds that chametz is mutter b'hana during Pesach. So you have no raya to your shaila, whether it goes lefi damim or lefi mida. It's lefi damim. Because Rabbi Yossi Glili, it has damim. Dama chametz of Pesach mutter b'hana. Fred the Gemara, if you can tell me, we're going like Rabbi Yossi Glili, aim a sefer. What's the sefer of our Mishnah? B'mezid potem in atashlumin udemei eitzim. If you eat b'mezid, you potem from tashlumin demei eitzim. Rabbi Yossi Glili, am I potem in atashlumin demei eitzim? If it has value and you ate it, why are you potem? Why are you potem, guys? Why are you potem? It's you b'mezid. You ate something that's worth money. That's called stealing. You stole, you ate it, right? So why are you pata? And for the Gemara, what's the din if you eat chametz on Pesach? Is it a chiyav malchus, chiyav misa, chiyav karis? Let's go with chiyav karis. I'm glad you all agree with chiyav karis, right? Chiyav karis. What's the din chiyav karis according to Rabbi ben Akana? Ari, he's sleeping. I can't even ask him. Da 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 da. Yehuda, your big chance, Yehuda. Here, da 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 da.
Come lay mid the Rabbi.
There you go, baby. Come lay with the Rabbi. So l'chayra, you're going to be pata on the fruit. So Fred the Gemara, how can you say it's according to who? It's according to Rabbi Yossi Glili. If Rabbi Yossi Glili has value, why you should be pata? Why are you pata on the shlumin? You should be chayiv. And for the Gemara, come lay with the Rabbi. As we see, Rabbi ben Akana, right? As we see, it says the Gemara, the Amar Rabbi the Tanya, Rabbi Chuy ben Akana Omer, Oisles Yom Kippurim Shabbos leTashlumin. We make Yom Kippur as Shabbos. Now, just like Shabbos is in the Misa and you put on Tashlumin, so too Yom Kippur, which is Chiyav Koris, you put on Tashlumin. So too eating Chametz Pesach, which would be a Chiyav Koris, we put on Tashlumin. So when our Mishnah says that you pay for shogeg, it's not necessarily that you go lefi damim. It could be according to Rabbi Yossi Glili, who holds that it's mutter behana. Now we're going to bring a long-winded brisa, and we're going to see that it's a machlokes tanoim, whether you go lefi mida according to the measurement, according to the fruit, or lefi damim according to the value. We're going to bring a long-winded brisa, and we're going to get to the machlokes on the amid base. Two brises. Hang there with me, guys. At the end of the brises, we're going to see that it's machlokes tanoim, whether we go lefi mida or lefi damim. Kitanoi. Ha'eichel trumas chametz b'Pesach patim min tashlumim umedemei eitzim. If you eat trumas chametz on Pesach, you're pater from tashlumim umedemei eitzim divrei Rabbi Akiva. Right? You're eating it, you're pater. Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri mechayev. Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri says mechayev. Amar Rabbi Akiva, Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri, v'chima hana yesh loiba. What hana do you have? It's asa b'hana. Amar Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri, Rabbi Akiva, uma hana yesh loifel truma tmeya. What has hana that a person eats truma tmeya? B'shai klayim es hashana sh'mashalim. Truma tmeya, if you eat the rest of the year, you chayev to pay. So Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri retorted to Rabbi Akiva, it's also b'hana on Pesach. So but truma also tmeya you can't have hana. Actually, you could have hana. What could you do? Amaloi lo yamam truma tmeya b'shai mas hashana she'af api she'en le b'heta achila. Good, you can't have hana by eating it, but yesh le b'heta hasaka. You can use it for what? For firewood. Toimer b'zeh. What are you going to say about chametz of Pesach? She'en le b'heta achila le heta hasaka. Halam is a daimer. It's the daimer le truma is tutim v'anavim. It's daimer to the truma of berries or grapes. Shenitma she'en le b'heta achila le heta hasaka. You can't go ahead and use them at all. And b'medma mamurim b'mafish truma v'chamitza. Dafka, if you became chametz on Pesach. Aval mafish trumas chametz, if it was chametz before Pesach, Dibri Akoli and Kedusha, it's not Kaddish. Okay, so guys, conversation between Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri. Rabbi Akiva says Yechayev, Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri says Yepata. Rabbi Akiva says Hawaii, it's Asa Bahana. Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri compares it to what? To Truma Tameya. Rabbi Akiva retorts, but it's not really a good comparison because chametz is totally Asa Bahana. With Truma Tameya, you could have some hana. No, the conversation Chayev Pata, and Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri does not answer Rabbi Akiva. Another machlokes now, another brisa, similar inyan. Says the Gemara, Tanya Idach. That's the end of the pasuk that we saw in the Hakdama, that you should give to the kohen kodesh something that's right to be kodesh. Davar royally as kodesh, that means you have to give fruit, not money, fruit, something that could be truma. Prat loichel trumas chametz Pesach shepatim in tashlumim udemei eitzim. So Pashtus. Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov was like Rabbi Akiva, that if you eat chametz truma on Pesach, you part it completely. Rabbi Elazar Chasma Mechayev, he said you Mechayev. So Pashtus, he holds like Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri. So I'm like Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov, Rabbi Elazar Chasma, Chimaha no yesh laba. Why should you be chayiv? It's chametz. You don't have anah. The same retort that what Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri gave. Yaakov told him the same retort as Rabbi Akiva. You can't use it whatsoever. Doesn't answer it. If the kohen wants maritzel if they cowboy, he can feed it to his dog. So guys, what do you have to say? Let Rebbe Elazar ben Chasma. He holds chametz for Pesach is not asa b'hana. He holds chametz for Pesach is just like truma tameya. You can't eat it, but you could have anah. Just like truma tameya, you can't eat. You can have anah using it as a as a fuel source. So too chametz for Pesach. So it comes out. I'm a base. I'm gonna buy it. Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov, Rabbi Akiva, Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri, Kula Svir Lahu chametz for Pesach asa b'hana. All of them held that chametz for Pesach is asa b'hana. Right? Rashi says, Afagav da'chai v'tashlumim, Svir Lahu de'en l'damim, u'b'ha pligi Rabbi Eliezer ben Yochanan ben Nuri. So another. Rabbi Eliezer ben well, they all said it was asa b'hana. Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov and Rabbi Akiva clearly said that you part completely. It's asa b'hana. Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri, he didn't answer Rabbi Akiva. He just said that what's the difference between this and truma and tameya? And he didn't say truma that chametz you could burn underneath what? To give it to a dog a burn. Only Rabbi Elazar ben Chasma said that. Now, kulas rule chametz pesach samana. So now, what's the machlokes then, fellas? Go back to the first brisa. Who's arguing? Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri. Rabbi Akiva says you're pata if you eat chametz truma, and Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri says you're chayiv. So what's the svaras hamachlokes? If they all hold it's asa b'hana, what's the svaras hamachlokes? Ubaha pligi. The Rabbi Akiva sava lefi damim mishalim. Rabbi Akiva says you go after what? The value. What value does it have? 0. So therefore you are potter. Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri sava lefi midah mishalim. Even though it's asa b'hana, you go after its dimensions. You go after the paris. Since you ate paris, you're paying back paris. Therefore you chayiv. So therefore we're suggesting that the machlokes that we said, whether you go lefi damim or lefi midah, is in fact the machlokes Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri. Rabbi Akiva lefi damim, therefore you're pata. Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri lefi midah, therefore you're chayiv. Says the word pshita. Wow, isn't that unbelievable? Usually the Gemara says no. There's some other way to learn. No, pshita. That is the machlokes. Pshita. That's the machlokes. Says the Gemara. No, it's not so pashut. Maldatem Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri nami Rabbi Akiva svirle. Maybe he holds like Rabbi Akiva. That's taka what? It's taka pata. The amal lefi damim mishalim. V'hasa ma'im taima de kamachayev mishum de savalak Rabbi Yosef Glili dama chametz and Pesach mutabana kemash malon that he doesn't. I could guys. There's two possibilities why you chayev for eating chametz on Pesach. Again, two possibilities why you chayev for eating chametz of truma on Pesach. What are they? One, you go after the midah. You go after, since you're paying back fruit, you go after the midah, you pay after fruit. Or two, you don't go after the midah, you go after money. But chametz Pesach has money. It has value. If you hold like Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri, like Rabbi Yosef Glili. If you hold like Rabbi Yosef Glili, who holds that chametz is mutar b'hana, so you cost the guy money because it's mutar b'hana. So says the Gemara. Guys, look at me. Says the Gemara. Rabbi Akiva says you're pata if you eat shumas chametz b'shoigeg. Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri says you're chayiv. Says the Gemara, what's the machlokes? The machlokes is Rabbi Akiva says you go if you domim, it has the domim. Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri says you go after midah, therefore it has you go after the peiros. Pshita, no, it's not pashid. Maybe Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri is the other reason. Maybe he holds you go after the domim, like Rabbi Akiva. But why are you chayiv? Because he holds it has domim. Because he holds like Rabbi Yosef Glili that the chametz Pesach mutaba. Kamashmalon pshit no. Kamashmalon he does not hold like Rabbi Yosef Glili. Kamashmalon the reason why you chayiv is because you go according to the fruit. You go according to the midah. How are we? How are we doing? Good. Okay, Baruch Hashem. Very nice Gemara. It's a beautiful parak. Culture is beautiful parak. Packed. Okay. Kamash Malon. Ve'em hachanami. Why don't you say hachanami? Why don't you say Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri holds like Rabbi Yosef Glili, and you go lefi damim like Rabbi Akiva? It says Im Kain nahadle Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri Rabbi Akiva ki hechi mahadle Rabbi Elazar Chasma Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov. Guys, why did Rabbi Elazar ben Chasma answer Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov? He said, chametz Pesach, feed it to your dogs, right? Or put it underneath your pot. Why could you feed chametz and Pesach? Why could you feed chametz and Pesach to your dog with the bana? Why could you use it as a fuel source with the bana? That's what Rabbi Elazar ben Chasma said. If Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri held like Rabbi Yochanan Yosef Glili, he should have answered Rabbi Akiva, right? That there's no difference between Truma Tameya and chametz for Pesach. In both cases, you can go ahead and feed it to your dogs or put it under your pot. When he did answer that, you see, he doesn't hold like Rabbi Yosef Glili. He holds like he holds the fee, midah mishalim, that's why he chayiv. By his retort that he didn't answer him the same way Rabbi Elazar ben Chasma answered Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov. Tan Rabbanan. Ha'oichel kazayis truma. If somebody says kazayis truma, regular kazayis, not chametz. Mishalim keren v'chaimish. Okay, by now you know keren v'chaimish. Now we're going to get into what Yankel was discussing. Yankel was busy with the Shava Pruta, right? Where's Yankel? There he is. We're going to get into Shava Pruta, Kazayas. We're going to get into Shiurim. Okay, so now. Kazayas Trum Mishalim Karen v'chaimish. You pay a Karen and a chaimish. Abashol. Guys, be aware, chaimish is a quarter. You're going to take something for, you're going to add a fifth. You're not going to divide it by 1/5. For example, you're going to take $20 and you're going to add another. You're going to take the 20 and you make it 5, 5, 5, and you're going to add another 5. Instead of going ahead and make just 5 into 20 and saying 4. So it's always called chemish milibar, an outside. You're always going to take the amount, divide it into 4, and then add an additional amount to the same as the other 4. Okay. So now, now the Tanakam is mashma, even if it's not worth a shava pruta, even if it's not a shava pruta, Yankel, right? When Abba Shol said that it has to be worth a shava pruta, obviously Tanakama says what? It doesn't have to be worth a shava pruta, or else what's Abba Shol adding? My time in Tanakama, Omakra, Vish ki yochel kodesh bishkaga. Again, the pasuk we brought in the Akdama, a person that eats kodesh bishkaga, the achila b'kazayis. When he uses the lashon of achila, stam achila is the size of a zayis. So therefore, since it says the amount of a zayis, memela, we don't look at a shava pruta. We just look. Did it have a kazayis or did it not have a kazayis? That's the criteria for being machayim. V'abashol, my timer that you need a shava pruta. Amakra, the pasuk says, v'nasan, it says v'nasan l'koyin es hakodesh. Nasan means it has to be a nesina. It has to be something that you're giving something, right? Isha mikudeshes b'shava pruta. It has to be rather than a nesina. You have to give something. Less than a shava pruta is not something. Vein nesina pachas b'shava pruta, and there's no nesina less than a shava pruta. Okay, therefore you need a shava pruta. The idach in the Tanakama, nami haksiv yochal. It says haksiv yochal. It says what? It says I guess idach abishol. Abishol. It says yochal. So why don't you need a kazayis? Ahu prat lamazik hu da'asa. That comes to prat lamazik, meaning when are you chayav v'keren v'chaymish if you eat it? If b'shogeg you would throw it in the river, you pay just the keren. B'shogeg, you take the truma, by accident you threw it in the river, so you mazik the truma, you pay the keren, you pay the principal, but you would not go ahead, despite being a shogeg, you would not pay what? You would not pay the chaimish. Chaimish is only ki yochal, when you eat it. The Tanakama, ksiv v'nasan, like the Tanakama, it says v'nasan, so why doesn't he take into account shava pruta? It says, it doesn't come to tell me it has to be worth a shava pruta. It comes to teach me the halacha we began the share with, that when you pay back truma, you pay back peros, something royally as kodesh that it could be truma itself, not money. Tanrabana, ha'echel truma pachas mikazayis. If someone eats truma less than a zayis, so less than a zayis, but if it's worth a shava pruta, l'chari should be chayiv. Mishalim es a keren, ve'ina mishalim es a chomish. You pay the, listen, you hear the guys, you pay the keren, if it's less than a zayis, you pay the keren, but you do not go ahead and pay the chomish. You pay the keren, but you don't go ahead and pay the chomish. Hekidami, either less pay shava pruta, if it's less than a shava pruta, this is mamish Yankel's Torah. Either less pay shava pruta, cotton amula, keren not mishalim. Should not pay keren either. The either is pay shava pruta, guys, let's look at the value. Why are you looking at the amount, the gazayas? Look at the value. If it's a shava pruta, you should have to add a fifth. If it's not a shava pruta, you shouldn't even have to pay the keren, right? Loilam this pay shava pruta. So if there's a shava pruta, why aren't you paying the chaimish? I feel like keeping the less pay gazayas. Mishalim es keren and mishalim es chaimish. Fascinating. You makbid that what on a kazayas, even if it has a shava pruta. If it doesn't have kazayas, you're not going to pay. It says kiyochal and achilas kazayas. So it's geschmack, guys. Listen up. You're masking if you would damage the truma, you threw it in the river, you'd only pay keren, right? You take a shava pruta, even more than a shava pruta. But let's work with it. You take a shava pruta, you throw it in the river. You're going to only pay what? The keren, no chaimish. If you're going to eat less than a kazayas, despite the fact that it's less than a shava, that it's worth a shava pruta, does hasteness can achila because it's not a kazayas. And it says if you eat the truma, the whole enactment of the chaimish is only on an achila. So even if it has value is a din in Geneva, in Mazik, in Shabbos, in Chashivus. But when it says the Lashon of Achila, the Hakpada is there must be an Achila to enact the special halacha of a chaimish. So even if you have value, if you don't have was in Yiddish was hasten Achila, right? Because it's not a kazayas, we're not going to enact this special halacha of chaimish. It's going to remain like Mazik, like or eating b'mezid, where you're stealing it. That would be the hezbah. Papa, and he says, "Ho deloy ka'abishol." Said Rav Papa, this is not like Abishol. The Ika Abishol ha'amar kimin sheyesh by shavar pruta afagav beles by kazayas. He says that what? You would pay the chaimish even without an achila. Guys, you hear? According to Abishol, it would be you're eating a shava pruta. That will be enough to engage the halacha of choimish. Amar Rav Papa, afilu teim abashol. Abashol tarti boy. Abashol needs both. He needs kazayas and shava pruta. So unless you have both, you're not going to go ahead and pay the choimish. We're gonna slug this up. Fred Gemara, mi boy abashol tarti. Does he need both to pay the choimish? Does he need kazayas and a shava pruta? I've a tanan abashol oimer. Esheyesh by shava pruta chayiv b'tashlumin. Esheim by shava pruta ain't a chayiv b'tashlumin. So you see that what? It's only dependent upon a shava pruta, not a kazayas. So Amrullah, they said to him, Lo yom shava pruta elul inyan mila b'vad. It's not true. They only said shava pruta l'inyan mila, but l'inyan achila, you need a kazayas. Aval truma ain't a chayiv atshei by kazayas, but truma until it's a kazayas. Now, vim isa and what? Vim isa that you need tarti, you need a kazayas and a shava pruta. Kivan sheyesh ba kazayas might me boy lay, right? He should have said kivan sheyesh ba kazayas me boy lay, since it has the kazayas. Look at what Abishol said. What does the Chachamim retort to Abishol? Abishol says, he says, as long as you have a shava pruta, that's enough. They said to him, they didn't say shava pruta, only linya mila, right? But truma, you're not chayiv until you need a kazayas. Now, if you needed both, they should say atshei ba kazayas. Kimun sheyesh ba. They should have said kimun sheyesh ba kazayas. It should be enough to be mechayiv you. It should be enough. Not exactly sure how this lashon works in here. Let's see the Rashi, Linyan Mila. We only said Shavar Pruta Linyan Mila. Benena Mihegdish, go up, guys. Linyan Mila, Benena Mihegdish Gavoya. The Hasam like Siv Achila. Doesn't say Achila over there. Again, Achila is the Kazayas engager. Aval Truma, Afilu Yesh Ba Shavar Pruta, Ein Chayiv Chaimish Ashlehe by Kazayas, because that is Achila. Mechlala Abashol, Afagav the Leka Kazayas. Abashol, even without a Kazayas, just a Shavar Pruta. Because the Misa, the Tarti boy, if you need both, ubiyesh by Kazayas koi, and it's speaking when you have a Kazayas, Abashol, the Ka'amar, the Afagav this which Kazayas being in Pruta, even though this Kazayas need a Pruta, Hachi Avle Lamema, Kivin the Sheyesh ba Kazayas Chayev. In other words, the Chachamim, since the Akpada got on Achila, they should have been focused on the Achila. Kivin Sheyesh ba Kazayas. Why did they say? They said to him, Lo Yom Shavar Pruta Elin Yamila. But that's not the main akpada. The main akpada was what? That you need a kazayas. If you need both Abishol. So why don't they say to him, Kimun Sheish Kazayas? So tiyufta, it's a tiyufta. Meaning it's an upslug on Abishol, on Rav Papa's shot, and Abishol that you would need both. Rav Papa Hadabay, even Rav Papa himself had charata that an Abishol you would need both a kazayas and a shava pruta. Lloyd Abishol, guys, you only need a shava pruta. It says, now this is speaking by Me'ilah. It says, "V'chata b'shkaga prat lemezid." You bring an ashram me'ilas, guys. When you have enough from hegdish, you bring a keren, chaimish, and in addition, you bring a carbon ashram me'ilas. So that's only if you do it b'shogig, not b'mezid. V'chata b'shkaga prat lemezid, excluding a mezid. V'lei dinhu, it's a din that what that a mezid is pata. So why do you need a pasuk? What's the din? Umasham it's a shechai ben karis. Pata ben as a mezid. Things eat chaylev, eat dam, yichayv karis. That's only b'shoigeg. But if you do it b'mezid, you part from a carbon. Me'ilah she'ein b'karis, me'ilah that does not have karis with it, ein din shepater as a mezid. So why do I need a pasuk that says v'chata b'shkaga, right? Prat l'mezid. Even without the pasuk, I would know. It says loyim amit b'sham mitzvah shekein lechayev ben misa. You're not chayev misa. Chayev b'me'ilah shechayev b'misa, right? Now. The Havamina is, guys, for being moil behegdish yichai misa b'dei shemayim b'mezid, and that's worse than karis. Hamaleim b'shkaga prat l'mezid. V'amalei Rav Nachman Yitzchak Rav Chia bar Avin. Hai tanamei kara alim alei karis. Initially, he held karis was stronger than misa b'dei shemayim. U'b'seif alim alei misa. V'amalei hachi kama. Lo yimam b'sham mitzvahs shekein lechai ben misa b'pachas mikazayis. You're not chayiv misa b'dei shemayim less than kazayis. Toimer b'meila shechayiv b'misa pachas b'kazayis. V'omar lei and Rav Nachman, Rav Yitzchak said to Rav Nachman Yitzchak said to. Who's he talking to? From Rav Nachman Yitzchak, who's he talking to? To Rav Chia. He says to Rav Chia, right? Tonach daitcha shenachtas daiti. Okay, you know what? This guy, I'm gonna have to go over the rayas on the Yom Aleph, so we'll do it tomorrow, Bez Hashem. Okay, right now we're holding. Abishol is only Shava Pruta. You don't need a Kazayas. Okay, just the Chazariba. The main Nakuda over here, there's two machloikas in today. One, the machloikas that you go lefi damim or you go lefi mois. You go, the damim is mois or you go lefi meat according to the Paris. Our Mishnah says that what? Our Mishnah says that if you eat b'shoigeg chometz b'Pesach, it became chometz on Pesach and you eat it, you pay a keren, the chomish, like regular eating truma b'shoigeg during the year. Two possibilities. Either you go according to lefi mida, or our Mishnah is according to Rabbi Yossi Aglili, who says that it's mutter behana. Those are the two possibilities. If you eat chametz during the year, we have machlokes now. Do you have to be nene shava pruta, because it says v'nasan, or it's enough just to kazayas because it says achila. It's machlokes the Tanakama and Abishol. But Prabhu wanted to suggest that Abishol is both. You need both. And then he said, no, only shava pruta. And Gemara is now going to prove that a puppet changed his mind. Thank you.
Rabbi.
Sure, thank you.
Good night.
Have a good night, everybody.
No.